Sasha, you good?
I can't hear her, right? Oh, yeah, she's muted.
Nah, she's muted. Still muted. Sasha, we can't hear you. Still muted.
Wait, you unmuted and then muted again.
It's doing it to me. They don't want me to be. Oh my God. I unmuted like 7 times. Sorry, everyone. Here we are. My countdown went 3 times for some reason. You love to see it. Technology. Anyway, Keith Stone is back. And
Oh, no.
so are we. So it's gonna be issues. We all knew that, but the magical sea people, Chappell and Sasha, are here to cover Below Deck Down Under. How are you, Chappell? We made it to the end.
We did make it. I was worried about you for a second. I was like, oh man, we're live and I can't hear Sasha. There's so much going on. We did need to bring in Keith Stone. We needed an expert. We could not get Keith Stone for this podcast though, Sasha, but I hear you did bring us a special guest.
Yes, I said blonde hair check, okay? Because listen, we had to bring in a guest that was, exclusively ours for this pod, okay? We needed to make something happen. So Sharon Tharp is here, the queen. Welcome. How are you?
Thank you guys for having me. I'm so excited. I never get to talk about Below Deck, and I'm like, where are my people that watch it? And so I listen to you guys, and I've always thought about maybe asking you to come on. So it's really nice that you invited me to come on.
Oh my God, we're so happy you said yes, and I know everyone in the chat is just as excited. You're here. How are you enjoying the season? Who are your faves? Oh my God, please tell us everything.
I mean, a lot of ups and downs, right? A couple weeks ago, I would say very hard to watch. We've had a lot of firings, which is pretty standard for the show. But who am I loving? I always love Aesha. I love her,
right.
And I love, the deck crew. They're fine. There's no one I'm obsessed with. I would say Luca is very nice looking,
and he's gonna be back.
Yeah. Oh yeah, he's gonna be on Med too. So yeah, I just love Captain Jason. I love Aesha. I'm enjoying the season. There's a lot of ups and downs, like I said, but yeah, not loving everybody, maybe.
That part. Okay. Can't wait to get into all of it. And yes, the chat is also very excited that you're here. So just get ready, everyone. And before we get into it, I feel like we need to get into some admin stuff. If you haven't already, subscribe to the Bravo TV RHAP-ups feed. Okay, help us out so Rob knows that we need to be renewed for Below Deck Med. And we put out a 150 review goal. Okay, I feel like it's possible because we're at 126 already, Chappell. We made it halfway.
I'm telling you, look, these people really want to hear us talk about Below Deck. They also want to hear see me wear my costume at the end of this season. And so keep them coming. I see we got a big fan. Puya's in the chat as well. And so we know that he is a Chappelle stan. And so for the Chappelle stans, keep leaving us reviews. He's very happy to see Sharon's here. More reviews means more podcasting, more special appearances, probably more Sharon. So keep them coming.
100%. Okay. And here I'm having a little tech issue, so we might have to just read your reviews or your chat instead of putting it up here. Sorry, everyone. Don't know what happened. Here we are. Oh, look, now it's doing it. I'm not even clicking it. You'll love to see it. Anyway, we made it. All right. So with all my tech issues aside, I think we just get into directly the guests being ridiculous and a hot mess. Because Sharon, I just have to know, right? Chappell and I talk a lot about this, about how ridiculous some of these guests are. But you watched enough seasons. Are these one of the rowdiest women we've seen?
Not the rowdiest, because we've had people jump in the water. Yeah,
exactly.
But pretty high up there in terms of fighting with each other. Gotta love that stuff. Yeah, they're pretty rowdy. They love Luca, right? We love some thirstiness. It's always fun.
Oh my God. Chappell, would you be okay with just being this almost assaulted?
Oh, being objectified?
Yes.
in the right, in the right setting, they look, I'll put it like this. They're at work. And so at work, you don't expect to be objectified. But I think once you get, the rundown of who the primaries are, what the guests are going to look like and how they're going to act, you realize what today is about, right? So we see Captain Jason's always going to run and hide and just let his deckhands go out there and get groped. And so, I think it comes with the territory when you sign up to work on Below Deck.
He gives Big Sandra anyone but me energy, right? He's just like, I don't want it. So whoever else. And I mean, they're like trying to lick the nipples. They're like, let's talk about penis size. Like, ma'am, maybe. And one of them is divorced or getting divorced, right? So I was like, we get it. We really do, but ma'am. And then Melissa, of course, the co-primary, finally points out like kind of the double standard. And she's like, just chill out. And seems like they calm down a touch. And then the guys are able to like put their shirts on. But then we get one of the most intoxicated. Is this the one of the co-primaries? I can't remember. Like, is it Zara? But they end up on the bridge just by herself, vibing out, drunk as hell.
I hate it.
Right.
She knew to get up.
She's looking for Captain Jason. Who wouldn't?
Right. And poor Captain Jason. They're calling for help. We got a drunk one on the loose. It's okay. Like, somebody go find her. Joao finds this woman, is like, I gotta entertain you for a second. The moment Captain Jason comes, he's like, I'm out, bye. And just leaves him hanging. I think she asked him, like, where's the Bermuda Triangle? He's like, in Bermuda. He was over it.
And Captain is so funny because she's like, so yeah, and Gotta Go Pack says this in the chat, but so I just love it because she's like, so you just like captain this whole shit with that little wheel. What are you trying to say about Jason's little wheel? I don't like that. Don't do that. And Joao just dips, y'all. What a guy.
Not surprised.
Look, I don't blame him. Captain Jason would have done the same thing to him.
True.
100%.
Yeah.
Oh my God. But listen, it's fine. Jason has made it to the next morning, everyone. He's alive. He hasn't been eaten. And then, Sharon, as the like Aesha stands that we all are, the next morning is Aesha L Day. And I feel so sad for her.
Listen, we all have bad days. I think the thing I like about her is that she does own up to her mistakes.
Yes.
She's not kind of like a blame person. So, she had a rough day, but the criticism was warranted. But she'll bounce back. That's how Aesha is. I like her.
100%. And Chappell, you and I don't have obviously like experience serving and just out here scuba diving. But I feel like even we would know that you don't drink before you scuba.
I think you would know. I think this is a mistake I would make. I think
really?
That I would be. Yeah, I mean, you and I have traveled to tropical locations before, and I'm gonna start my day with starting my day. And so I could understand not being drunk and scuba diving, but I don't know, Sharon, you watched the show before. Has this ever come up before where you can't drink at all before you go scuba diving? I just didn't know that was a rule.
No, I didn't really think about it either. And to be honest, I feel like that guy, the instructor, if he hadn't said it, like they probably could have got away with it, but it just, it came out. And then Aesha, I will say, I'm pretty sure she dives often. So she definitely knows that rule. But I think the way the guest asked her, like, it just didn't compute in her mind. Like, no, wait, hold on. But yeah, I don't think we've seen this on the show before. Or it hasn't come up.
No, I don't remember. And I mean, we had a whole season, right? Below Deck Adventure, where they were just out here doing all kinds of adventure. Granted, it wasn't cold, like, so not necessarily with water. It was more hiking and I feel like it was much crazier. We had waterfalls, right? And they were sliding up and down, but different. And I know they were drinking, doing all that crazy stuff. So... And again, because then when everyone gets back to the boat and Aesha was like, I didn't know I said that. I thought I didn't. But then we do get, thankfully, one of the charter guests is kind enough. That's like, well, it was pretty shallow. So scuba diving and snorkeling was the same.
Yeah.
the producer had to be like, Aesha, you did say that. You know, like,
I
that was
love
so
when they
funny.
do that. I love when the
Like,
producers have to
it
like,
was you. Yeah.
It's me. I'm the drama.
This time. What do you think was going on with her though? It was a whole episode where a whole
Yes.
part of where it was just communication was bad from her. But they didn't really give us any backstory. It just kind of seemed like she was just having an off day.
I think so. I mean, it was just like Sheffy wasn't thrilled with her about the communication. Obviously the scuba diving. I'm trying to think if there was one other thing that she did. I'm just like, but yeah, I think it was an off day. It seems like minuscule. I mean, if you go to Australia though, I'm sure you want to like go diving, so that really sucks. But yeah, it's a bummer. I don't think she meant it.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think towards the end of the charter season, we always actually have these kinds of issues, right? Where they're just kind of like, shucks, it's the end of the charter season. Now we
That's
don't,
true.
you know, we're going to be a little lax, right? Like every time there's a tip meeting where Captain is like, just because we're towards the end doesn't mean you get to let go. Stop it. Get your shit together. So yes and no, right? I don't think we've seen such a mistake, but everyone gets loosey-goosey toward the end, unfortunately. And I think that's what happened because Tzarina also, I don't think, is like mad, right? She isn't necessarily like, Aesha, I hate you. You're the worst person on the earth. But instead, she's just like, no, like, what's up? I don't want to be mad at you. And I'm mad that I'm mad that I have to be mad, basically. So I appreciated their friendship in that because wake up, Aesha, please. I don't know what's happening. And then, yeah, with all of that, though, like we said, it's all fine because then I think we'll go to Neon Night because have you met Keith Stone in his fullness, Chappell? I can't remember because we've seen him, but I don't think we've like seen him.
Yeah, I don't know this man. They said Keith Stone was coming. I was like, oh, who is that? And then I was like, oh, it's Culver in his wig. And I think we've seen the wig before. We've seen Culver obviously stripping at different points throughout the season.
Yes.
But I don't think I didn't know that Keith Stone was a person I should be aware of. Is he a trained member of the Thunder from Down Under? Is he just like a persona that Culver likes to wear when it's time for him to strip?
The second part.
Okay.
Sharon and I were talking pre-show, but like I was saying that every like white fraternity guy at Oklahoma, I felt like dressed like this when they were ready to go out. They were just like, yeah, I have my like fake mullet hair. It's vibing out only. So to me, I was like, oh, been there. I think Keith Stone's okay. And Joao said it best, right? Shit at his job, but he's a great entertainer. And I think
and I felt the attack right in my chest. I said, oh, I caught a stray here, you know? Dear God. I'm definitely Chappelle the entertainer for sure. I think if my job is entertaining, I'm pretty good at it. Maybe we should just let Culver do what he's good at. Look, I think Joao makes a good point. He has some deficiencies in some other areas. Make him one of the chief entertainment officer, you know, make him do this kind of stuff because we're going to even see that there are moments where Tzarina's not feeling so comfortable with what she has to do. And she's like, can we bring in Keith Stone as like a distraction? I think there's some merit there. I don't know.
I'm not a big Keith Stone fan.
Ooh, say more.
I mean, I'm not really a Culver fan. I mean, again, I'm prefacing, I don't know Culver, right? This is what I'm seeing, but like that guy is like a walking ick to me. Just the cheesiness and then the costumes are one thing, but then the paying thing is like done. Like the most unattractive thing I've ever seen. And I felt bad for Jamie. I mean, she should have she paid for the stuff, but yeah, that whole situation. I'm not a Culver fan, sorry. I don't even remember him from the first season he did, but he wasn't as egregious. But I think this season, now that Joao's kind of getting along with people, he's come to the forefront of like, he's a problem.
Oh, 100%. I think the worst thing is someone not paying. I hate a cheap person. Whew.
Like, don't go out.
Don't go. Don't go out.
You know the
Stay
deal.
home.
You know the deal. Everyone pays. They take their turns. Just man up and pay. So then it's never talked about. And then it's talked about again on this episode because he still didn't pay. And then he's like, these people are children. I'm like, you're the child. You.
Yeah. That's tough
Literally.
Hearing that from Culver. Culver's in like, y'all are kids. Like the kids that have been paying for you to have drinks all season. You know, this is weird. Also, you know, you mentioned Jamie, but Jamie, this is what happens when you get in a relationship within like 12 hours of knowing somebody. You know, no, I'm not judging them. I am judging them a little bit. Whatever. Okay, let's do it. I think that because now you're having so many second and third thoughts about this man. I mean, everything he does, she's like, ick. I got the ick from this. I got the ick from this. I got the ick from this. Yeah, you shouldn't have said, yeah, I'll agree to this relationship. You should have shut him down. But I think what it was is that Jamie probably thought, like, she looked around, didn't really see a lot of prospects, and said, I could do this for a season or so. That's fine. And then Luca shows up, and now they're like, oh, not only does he annoy me, but there's also other options are now available. I don't know. I feel bad for Jamie because she's stuck with Culver, but I kind of don't feel bad for her because you chose this life. You didn't have to do this.
Yeah, I think someone in the chat just brought up, and this was the biggest thing for me.
Yes.
Oh my God. When he brought her down to that bilge where the trap is, that's like when you're in college and some guy's trying to get you back to his place and it's like disgusting and you're like, why am I here? Like that's what it was. And there's a master cabin. Like, what are you doing?
Which I felt like, am I crazy or no? Because and Lindsay in the chat says like Culver's another Peter Pan, bro. That's exactly what I thought when he takes her down. This girl has like pillows and blankets, which I'm assuming they're gonna take into one of these like luxurious cabins. And instead, he's like, yeah, let's go in. Excuse me, what if there wasn't a camera person? And someone locks that? What are you gonna do? Die? Like, I don't understand.
And like, there are cameras down there, or they're not? Is that what it was? They just wanted to get away from the cameras? Because like,
I'm assuming, but don't they have mic packs on still?
Yeah, I don't know if the master, I don't know where the cameras are, but like, it just, she's too good for this. What are you doing, girl? Like, you're way too good for this.
First of all, she's so hot. And she like dresses impeccably. I was like, why? Why is this that you're, I think I would have looked down at him, laughed and left. Like, I don't even care if that was my boyfriend. Like, if my husband tried to do that, I'd be like, you must be joking. And y'all, then did you see the camera, like whoever, the camera and production was like, and then it was an oxalic acid, like zoom in. So I was like, why did I zoom in on this? So I went and looked it up. Well, anyway, turns out oxalic acid, which is like a marine cleaner, and they use it to clean boat hulls, which is like stains, algae, like dirt and grime. Okay. Then I was like, is it harmful to humans? Well, exposure to this can cause headaches, dizziness, nausea, vomiting, convulsions, coma, and even death.
Well, there you go. Culver's like, let's go down there. She's like, okay, both of them dumb as a box of rocks. And look, I can say that about Culver because we've seen a lot of dumb stuff. But Jamie, you starting to make dumb stuff happen as well, because there's no reason why you should have agreed to go down there. I get wanting privacy, but at what cost? I mean, it felt like even the crew didn't, like the camera crew didn't want to go down there. Like they kind of like looked around, took a little shot. It was like, all right, have at it. This is bad. What are you doing?
Horrible.
What are you doing? You know, I don't know. This is dumb. Y'all already had sex on the boat. You know, I don't know what y'all are trying to hide now.
Go in the bathroom again. Whatever.
Seriously. And yeah, and Michael in the chat, you know what, Michael? Maybe I agree with you. Michael says that I think he thought it'd be hot to have relations down there. Hot in not the sexy way, in the death way. Just stop.
This is too old for this. You know, she was talking about how like he's in his 30s and he gave her the like check yes or no box and all that stuff. And she's like, you're too old for that. Like, but aren't you too old to be having like storage room sex? You know, you got beds and stuff. Like, we don't gotta live that life no more, y'all. What are you acting like this for? It's very embarrassing.
Right? Like in high school, right? When you're like, mom's coming. Oh, well, let me quickly, whatever. Not this. Grow up, everyone. But you know what, Chappell, I'll be with you that you tick the box, now you lay in the box. Okay, unfortunately.
Yeah, I think she's regretting it now because of Luca. They're getting very close.
Ooh, yeah. Let's get into that.
Well, hold on real quick, Sasha, because we cannot overlook the fact that Jamie, not only did you agree to this relationship, you kind of stole this man from Sheffy. Let's not forget that you asked for this. You went and got this from somebody else. This could have been Sheffy's problem, and you made it your problem because I love attention and I always get what I want. Okay, Jamie. Well, here you go. Play stupid games, win stupid prizes.
Listen, Sheffy, I will not co-sign on account that she just took a bullet for Sheffy. That's all.
Sheffy has her own problems. We'll talk about those.
Yeah, she does.
And also, I don't know, Sharon, if you remember this, but I feel like also to wrap up this Jamie and Culver situation, right? Jamie keeps being like, "Hey, when's the job happening?" Right? Like, has the captain has Olaf reached back out? No, Olaf wants warm hugs, so Olaf is gone, and I think he did this to Bertini too, right? He was just like, "We have a job." I can't remember the exact circumstances. Chat, please let me know exactly what happened. But I felt like he led her on with a job too. But again, maybe I'm wrong. But yeah,
he seems like one of those guys that just wants to like impress. Like, oh, I got this lined up for us, and like, there's nothing. It's like we're going to this nice dinner, and he takes you to McDonald's or something. You know, like
end up in a box. You know.
Yeah.
He's just like, I have a great spot for you. And then he's just hoping to, oh yes, thank you, gotta go pay. Oh, okay, it was just the rent a van and travel, not a job. But I think they ended up doing something traveling. That's why in my mind I thought it was a job. But either way, it's just bless Culver's heart. He's not moving the way he should be. Okay. And then now it's time for Jamie. Woo! Jamie said, Luca, let's take selfies. And we already talked about this, but like she just wants to get close to Luca, methinks.
Y'all. No, Sharon. No, we do not support this. You should not have agreed to this relationship with this man if you then want to go look elsewhere. Sasha, stop it. I see you. She came in, stole Sheffy's man, then agreed to the relationship, and now she's like, well, I guess I will send this friend request to Luca.
You know,
like looking at him.
The Instagram friend. I was like, oh, it's over.
Y'all on the same boat. You sent an Instagram friend request to this man who's like across the hall from you. Or you have a boyfriend who's also across the hall from you. Jamie out here doing dirt, y'all. I can't support it. Sorry.
I love it. To City Girls up 1,000. Okay. We were down bad last week, but we're back, baby.
Yeah, I think because I like her, I kind of ignored the Sheffy situation, but you're right. Like, you're laying in this bed that you made, and like, I don't know. I guess when you go on a boat, you're just like, okay, who's the hottest person I can handle for 6 weeks? Okay, I guess it's you. And then someone else comes on, they're a little hotter. Yeah, I don't know. Not great.
No one's loyal.
No.
Except look at Luca. He out here trying to observe man code. He lasted longer than Jamie did. Jamie turned on Sheffy within 15 minutes. Luca's like, no.
Luca lasted 20. You're right.
He still ain't done nothing yet. He still has not done anything. You know, not yet.
What's going down in the DMs though? I thought they were going to show if there were messaging, because someone wrote in the chat. I agree.
Yeah.
Like, something was in those DMs, but maybe not.
Right. Because we saw the selfies for sure. And, you know, when you send somebody the selfies, that's the, like, you know, change your contact photo type stuff. That's some dirt going on here, y'all.
It's a gateway drug to like really other stuff, right? The selfie. Oh, let me just send you the selfie. No, baby girl, we know what that is. And I'm not mad. But yeah, these 2 episodes, at least we get a Luca being like, oh, bro code, I'm trying really hard. But then the end of this episode, Luca goes, or at end of the night out, Luca's like, so you got a man or not? And then the preview, the words are uttered, everyone. He's like, can I kiss you?
Like, isn't her boyfriend in the room?
He's right there.
Is the boyfriend in the room with us right now?
Right. Blink twice as he's in the room with us. It's like, yeah, we all see this man.
Oh my God. Do y'all think it's going to happen?
Because Culver's in the room, no. But,
okay.
But like, if he wasn't, I don't know. Like, I just wish listen, if she was casually hooking up with Culver, that's one thing. But she ticked the box.
She did.
She did. Yes. Why? I don't know.
She could have tried to keep it casual, and she could have called him fake. Who knows? I don't know. We've seen other moves made. I'm more interested in what happens when Culver goes and watches his back on TV, because you know, as a man, I can go ahead and say this: we some big crybabies. When this kind of, we are good to be on the other end of this, but when we receive something like this, even if it never goes anywhere, y'all taking selfies together and exchanging DMs, and you talk about how good he looks. Oh, Culver's gonna be crying in the car. This is not somebody who
at his mom's house. That was so mean.
She's so cold blooded. She said, "I bet Luca don't live with his mama." I said, "Damn, Jamie, why you don't even like this man? Why did you tick the box?"
Because Luca wasn't there. Sharon said it.
Like, you should. I mean, listen, if you are gonna date someone, you kind of do have to accept a lot about them, right?
Yep.
She knew he was living with his parents, so again, like Chappell said, I feel for her, but at the same time, this is your choice. Or like break up with him. Like I feel like when she was ticking the box, she didn't want to. So you could have just let him down nicely. Hey, listen, let's keep this cash. But nope, full blown relationship after 2 weeks.
Yeah, she talked to this man's mama.
I mean, mama talks to everyone.
Yeah, but not everybody. You didn't have to come over here and get on this FaceTime call. You could have just been where you was at, minding your own business. Come on, man. She cutting deep, man. You start talking to my mama, you gonna do me like this? My mama watched the show, y'all.
That was bad. I was just like, first of all, it's not like a one, not to be classist. I just mean, it is not a 1-bedroom with his mom that you have to move into, right? They own a farm. Like, it isn't just like this, like a little thing. It's probably acres of land that they have. So be for real, Jamie. Not me having to stick up for Keith Stone, but let's call a spade a spade. Oh my God. But speaking of keeping casual, maybe it's time to speak about Joao and Tzarina.
Okay, Sharon, before we get into this,
please.
What do you think about Joao up to this episode? Because I have been on an island out here. The water is approaching. Everyone's throwing me under the boat. They said, Chappell, you crazy. You don't know Joao. It's all a ruse. But I have not seen anything bad about this man. Sharon, am I missing something?
No, I mean, I just rewatched Med and the season, his original season, and he was pretty terrible. So this Joao, I will say, is like kind of nice and refreshing. But in the episodes, that we just watched, I feel like we're getting inklings of like, I don't know, I just red flags, and he's kind of, I'm not loving it. But up until then, he's pretty, he's been okay. But yeah, if you rewatch original Joao, different guy, different man, not the same.
Where is the lie? Listen, Chappell, wake up. I wore red for the red flags that he is, okay?
I'm about to go get a red hat and put
one on. Tzarina isn't like innocent.
Right.
Either.
No, it's horrible. Okay.
She called that man fake, Sasha. She had to do him like that.
That was so bad.
Why did he ask that question? Because you're asking a negative question, you're gonna get a negative answer. Like, what? I think that was his question.
Yeah.
What's the negative thing you don't like about me? Don't ask that kind of question.
Because he can't handle it. Chappell said men are babies. So listen, first of all, do I believe Sheffy is self-sabotaging? Yes. Okay, let me make that very clear. And I also feel like Lindsay in the chat, I agree with. He's been on his best behavior, but you can't keep it going forever because that is not who he is.
No, he changed. People can change, Sasha.
Look at it. Look at the yelling, which I also don't think he was yelling, but maybe because I'm a loud person.
Yelling.
I was like, Chevy, chill. But yeah, I feel that they're both in their heads about very different things, and that's why they can't meet together. Because this dinner started out so cute, right? They're like very much into it. They're like blah blah blah, but then Tzarina is like, oh, I'm gonna keep my guard up just in case the old Joao shows up. And you hooked up with my friend, but let's not, I guess, forget that.
That's
and then Joao, is like, oh, actually, blah blah blah. Like, I've changed, but like, have you, girl? She said she wants casual. How many times? Killing me. over here. But then, yeah, he just gets called fake. And I don't know. I feel like, Sharon, I've been in these situations where I have to like be nice to someone that I knew I shouldn't have been messing with in the first place. And then it caught up to me.
Yeah, just don't define the relationship on these shows.
Yes.
Like when has that ever gone well for these people? Just don't define it. Don't have a conversation that's unnecessary so early. I mean, realistically, are they gonna like date after the show? No. Also, the friend, we didn't even get to the friend of it all. Like, she's gonna be pissed. I mean, I would assume. But yeah, that conversation was very awkward. Hard to watch.
Painful. And then, Chappell, we see the old Joao.
Look, I don't know about that. Look, because if this is the old him, then it's not that bad, y'all. Because he was upset. Because, well, here's the thing. I think when he asked her about, what's the negative thing about me, I think in his mind, it was going to be something that is probably like fixable or something, like, oh, you got this, like, I did a thing that you didn't like. But to say I'm fake, that's probably was so far from his mind because he felt like he was being so genuine that it cut him to his core because he's like, wait, fake? Of all the things you could say about me, fake is not one of the things. Like, if she had said, oh, I think you're an asshole, he would have been like, oh, okay. But I think it's like, that one was so far out of the realm of imagination for him from his point of view because he felt like he was being so authentic. I also think when you have a relationship that's kind of defined by negging, you kind of get in a mode where if you're always picking at each other, it kind of feels like you don't like each other. And then if you hit that one nerve that is kind of off limits, then that's when all bets are off. And I think that's what it is. You pick on each other so much because y'all both have a thick skin. But then if you hit the one thing I'm sensitive about, then, we're back to just being assholes towards each other. And I think that's what was going on here.
I think you nailed it. For sure. It was like he was asking a question when you're on a job interview. It's like, what would be your biggest obstacle? Or what do you... And he was expecting a nice response and it was, oh, you're fake.
Yeah.
What?
Like, it's your character. That's what I don't want.
It's your being. If only I could move your pretty penis on someone else.
And that's the thing. Like, I respect her for being like, listen, I'm here to keep it casual or whatever. But, I don't know if they have the romantic chemistry. They have the like banter, like you were talking about, Chappell. But yeah, once it gets too deep, I don't know if they're a great match anyway. Yeah. I don't see anything good coming. I mean, we saw the preview, so.
Exactly. Listen, we called it. And I think we must say that Joao, to his credit, right, I think was like, I'm trying really hard to be a nice guy. But then instead, I think he becomes nice guy trademark, if you know what I mean, right? Like what we've been on Harry Watch for, where it's like, they're like, well, I try so hard to be a good guy, but they don't deserve it, blah, blah, blah. That's what I feel like Joao was giving me. That's why I was getting really pissed at him because, again, if this is who you were, you should have just been like, F you, right? Like, you just don't get to see who I really am. Bye, right? But instead, I feel like he was just playing the game a little too much. And then, and then Chevy goes wild because she's like, don't ever put your hand in my face. I was like, breathe. Everyone just breathe.
Yeah. It went 0 to 100. Michael does say that if he was Joao and the whole like stop yelling at me, you chauvinist, that would have been the end of it. And I honestly think that I think if like because I do think Sheffy escalated this. You called this man fake, and then when he goes to defend himself, you're like, I'm not hearing it, So of course he was getting adamant about it, but I don't think I think that they're constant banter, where they always call each other dick and chauvinist. Call each other whores and stuff like that. You think you can get away with something like that until you actually start thinking, wait, do you actually believe that about me? Do you actually think I'm a chauvinist? Because we can end this right now. I'm fake and I'm chauvinistic. Like, we can be done with this. It's cool. And I think Joao in the moment was kind of shell shocked by that. But we do see in the next scenes with them, oh, he's all clammed up now. He doesn't want to open up anymore. And she's like, oh, why are you not talking to me anymore? Like, you know why? You know what you did. Stop playing.
No, why is she in the bed? And he's like, I'm tired. And she's like, oh, okay. And just has to leave.
Yeah. Awkward. I mean, I will say about Joao, do I think he completely changed? No. Do I think he changed a little bit or a lot of stuff for the better? Yes. And that's what you want on reality TV, for people to see their mistakes, like be self-aware enough to like work on those things. So like, I want to give him credit for that. But yeah, there's just little things that I think also he had a really bad relationship or probably end of the relationship on a previous season. So I think he's just like hurt and in his head and making this a bigger thing than I think she wants it to be. So they're just not on the same page, those two.
Yeah. And then she leaves. And then Joao the next morning, I don't know why I'm irritable, but I am.
Because you're fake.
Yeah, like is anyone watching what I'm watching? And then he's like, oh, but she did call me fake, blah blah blah. And then for Tzarina, you kind of have to lay in it, just like we've been telling Jamie, because now she's like, oh, I've been lonely, and she's feeling like the cold shoulder, Chappell, which I was like, girl, what'd you expect?
Look, these women. I'm joking. But seriously, it's funny because we've seen this on Below Deck before too. Like even with Margot and Harry, she's like, Harry, I'm sorry, you're giving me the ick. Let me go sleep with someone else. I gotta get away from you. And then the next episode, like, Harry, it's time for our breakfast date. You ready? He's like, it's time for coffee time. He's like, I don't want to talk to you. So yeah, I think these people just they have to make their bed and then they have to lie in it. And so it's like, yeah, you say rude things to people. There's a chance that they don't love it and then they don't react the way you want them to react the next day. And she was lonely because she has her like this big this cooking thing coming up, the teppanyaki, right? And she's like, I don't know, I really want to be able to talk to somebody about this and stuff like that. And Joel's kind of like, bye.
Couldn't be me.
Couldn't be me. Sorry,
because I'm fake.
Being fake, right? Too busy being fake.
God.
Sorry.
I will say though, too, Joao, the one thing I think that I got annoyed with him about with when you just don't tell people that are overthinking something. I hate that. Like as someone with anxiety, never say overthink. Oh, you're overthinking it. I feel like that's the worst thing to say to someone. So just didn't love that either.
Because we know we're overthinkers. You're not telling me something I already don't know. So like you're overthinking it. Yes, and like
yes, okay. And I'm working on it. Please hold.
Right.
No, it is ridiculous. But with all that, I think that's where we leave them for now. And Sharon, you said it already, but yeah, the real Joao is coming out next week, baby. Margot and Joao will finally kiss, I think. So can't wait. I think Sheffy is gonna burn the boat down.
Right. I feel like we're being breadcrumbed, y'all. I think that this has to be I see what y'all see, but for it to be Margot, right, who would also have to be betraying Sheffy at that point, and Joao who would be betraying Sheffy, like I could see where he would obviously want to branch out. We've seen that so much on this show. You get mad at somebody, you go holler at the person across the hall. But for Margot to be involved in this, it really feels like, I don't know, are they playing Truth or Dare? Like how did you get her to sign off on this? Because there's no reason why Margot, of all people, should be wanting to get involved in another love triangle, especially with the way she's been struggling at work this season. You would think she want to stay clear from all of this. Am I tripping?
Yeah, they either have like a really deep conversation or something and that happens, or yeah, there's like, Luca and Jamie are like, hey guys, let's play some spin the bottle. Like, let's switch
for us.
For us. Yeah. You guys make out too.
Yeah, let's all make out. God. Okay, Chappell, I like that. Let's see how it actually turns out, because also she's been hitting low-key, like kind of, breadcrumbing, I feel like, Joao. So we'll see. I don't know. I can't wait to see how it all comes together and the fallout of all of this. And I don't think we're gonna get a reunion. I was talking to someone on last week's YouTube chat. So yeah, maybe they're right. Like we don't get a reunion because we haven't really heard much about it. But
I hate when they don't do reunions. Like I love the reunion. I mean, half of them don't show up half the time, but like, it's still fun to see where people are who's still mad. Like, I like the reunions. I wish they did them more.
100%. So we'll see. We still have next week. I think it's only episode 18, but vibes only, because I want to see how this all ends up. But maybe they'll just go online and tell us, because they've all been pretty like wild on social media and giving us lots of updates. So we'll see about that. And then we do have some like work drama. I feel like we should also talk about. So the women do end up leaving our biggest tip of the season, 20,000, which is great, especially for all the fighting. Would it have been more if they went diving? Maybe, we don't know.
Maybe.
And then this is where I was like, Captain loves playing favorites because Aesha does not get the disco ball helmet. Yeah. It goes to Joao.
Yeah.
That surprised me too.
Yeah, that is weird. That is weird. It goes to Joao because he left the captain hanging. Yeah, but we know Aesha and Captain Jason are like, they're like a tag team. Like they're good friends. And Aesha's mistake here was just a lack of communication all episode, really. The thing about the scuba divers, I guess that's an honest mistake you can make, but I don't know. I feel like if you've been doing this for a while, maybe you don't make that mistake. Like Sasha, you said you would know not to drink before something like this. And so, and you don't work on a boat.
Swim.
Right. Yeah, that. And so I don't know. Yeah, I didn't even pick up on it that's his. Yeah, that's probably. Huh. Yeah. Now I'm thinking about it like, yeah, that's not cool. Aesha deserves that helmet.
She said, if you do it, no more contacts for you.
Yeah, he was playing favorites there because that didn't really make sense to me either.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Joao had already gotten it before. He seems to have gotten the crew in line, like the deckhands, because if you really look at it, the first half of the season, every time the boat is about to shove off or whatever they call it, we got drama. Every time they're about to drop the anchor, we got drama. Every time, like it was not like we knew that was going to happen, and that one chick was going to take forever to get dressed, whatever her name is. I forgot about her. But like that's two things that have been solved. So you would think Joao would probably have a little bit of immunity from this damn helmet, and Aesha, you should be on the clock, but she dodged it. I guess it's cool to be friends with the captain.
Yeah, and Lindsay does say like maybe he didn't give the helmet to Aesha because she's already had it once. She still deserves it. That's all I'll say. But it's fine. Listen, our president doesn't deserve anything. We support women's rights and wrongs, so she doesn't deserve it, actually. I'm with Jason. And after this preference sheet meeting, we do get, I feel like, ridiculous drama, which I don't even know why it's made a big deal. Margot says, hey, I would, like to become second stew. I feel like I've worked really hard and, I kind of messed up last time. I got a little drunk. So could I please, try out for next charter? Like, can I be the second? And Jamie being the third. Aesha was like, this is so emotional. I love it. Beautiful, blah, blah, blah. And then, Jamie overhears it and she's like, they're just not going to tell me? I'm like, what am I, chopped liver?
I thought this was normal, like not normal, but like they switch on, to get people to train them. So this isn't like, I don't think Aesha was doing anything, well, definitely not maliciously, but also like nothing we haven't seen before. I guess because it was the last charter, she like really wanted to be on service, but like, who cares? I don't really get, I would rather be in laundry. I don't want to deal with people.
Would you with that dress?
Oh, yeah. That's a different conversation because maybe Jamie should be nowhere near anybody's laundry in the first place.
Oh my God.
I don't know. I kind of see what she's saying. I mean, this is not the first time this has happened this season. She's already done this once so that Margot could then go get drunk on the clock. But I think that if you brought on to kind of be second, you don't expect to do laundry and stuff like that. Like, that's why you apply for this job. You didn't want to have to go do some of the other work. So now it's the last one. And it's like, okay, now you're back doing the laundry again. She's like, well, y'all didn't even ask me. Maybe we could do it together or something like that. Maybe we double team it or something. But dang, to just be like, oh, your homegirl really want to not do her job no more. I'm gonna let her do yours. Like, dang. So I kind of see what Jamie is going for. I didn't think it would be pushing people to tears. Like, this got dramatic.
Yeah, I think this was an Aesha communication thing too. Like, she should have just told her before they went out because she knew it would probably, I would assume it would come up in conversation. So she probably should have told her before at least. So she wasn't blindsided in front of everybody. And then Harry was saying, some dumb shit.
Right, exactly. I agree. I think that Jamie can feel a type of way. And I think that Margot also can feel her feelings. Unfortunately, they're both right. if that makes sense, which sometimes there's not a lot of room for that, but that's the reality. So it's unfortunate, but that it is what it is. And then Harry takes many L's with women, and here we go again, right? Trying so hard to be knight in shining armor for Margot. Margot loved it until Aesha was like, no, mind your own damn business. And then Margot was like, yeah, mind your business.
You're right. She changed as soon as she saw that people were pissed. I mean, his intentions, I get it, were good. Like you said, he's trying to like, stick up for Margot. She's had a rough season, but it just wasn't the time, the place.
Right. Also, I'm sitting at home like, oh God, Harry, what are you doing? No, this is not your fight. Get out of there. Because it's like, stay out of women's business, please. Let them handle what they're handling. You just not got nothing to do with you. But then also, just from a professional standpoint, you don't have anything to do with that area of the boat. You don't know what they do. You don't work in front of the house. You can't be like, Margot deserves a chance. Margot ass was drunk last time she did this.
True.
She really lucky to have a job. So you might want to sit this one out. You don't fight these battles for her. And then you also got to think about it too. Harry, are you doing this because you think Margot deserves it? Or are you doing this because it's Margot and you still sweet on her and you still like trying to be knight in shining armor? Like, bruh, stand up. I see you, Harry. You're doing the thing. You pop your head back in like, oh, I saved you. Look, it's me. I fought for you. Don't you like me? And Margot, being Margot, was like, I do like this, Harry. Until Aesha said, no, you don't. She's like, okay, you're right.
That's what I'm saying. I was just like, not the switch up. And then, of course, and then Joao and Sheffy like step in, right? And they almost... Sheffy, I feel like, does the right thing. She's like, hey, Margot, like, you can feel your feelings. Let's like talk through it. Don't feel like a bad person. She's being the adult about it. And then Joao all of a sudden was like, I think I understand why this is happening, blah, blah, blah. To then be like, and Culver, you should know how this feels. And I was like, how did that happen? Like, Culver's like, why am I in it?
Ain't even did that.
Oh my God. Well, that's the problem. And then Joao is just like going in. I feel like he's doing like a Culver's performance report, Chappell, in front of everyone.
It's embarrassing. I think Culver's thing is just like, well, like stuff like this happens. It's cool. Like you don't know. Harry can speak on this. He has experience and all this stuff. And Joel's like, honestly, you need to shut up because you barely got experience in your realm. I was like, okay, Joel, y'all shouldn't be having these conversations about work while y'all are drinking. Yeah. I think that's where a lot of this becomes really personal, right? Joao feels like Culver's not listening to him. Culver's not listening to him, but Culver shouldn't have to. You shouldn't be out drinking with your boss like this if you can't handle, to have work conversations like this. Y'all need to shut this down because the whole time Culver's wrong. Like Joel's right. You do not have as much experience as Luca. That's why we brought him in. You probably shouldn't be speaking on this, but also you didn't have to use him as an example. Culver didn't have to be in this conversation at all. This was about Harry not minding his own business. And now you've made this about all of y'all. That's why we stay out of their business. You just sit over in the side, be quiet, let Margot fight her own battles, and we wouldn't even be having this conversation. So I blame Harry.
Yeah. I think Joao loves to poke at. He loves to poke at Culver, and I think Bori in the chat, I agree. Mm-hmm. Culver's just lazy. Like, he's the guy who's in the galley eating because he doesn't want to work, right? Like, so I get why Joao is frustrated, but like, you're right. Like, wrong time. Like, why are you doing this? The season's almost over. Like, at this point, he's not going to change. The whole thing was like a mess, but...
Joao was just like waiting, right, to attack. That's what I felt, where he was just like blood in the water, and he's like, "When is it my time to get another one in on?"
Yeah.
Exactly.
It's like that. I know you ain't talking. It's like, okay, dang. He's just trying to get in the conversation, but it was a lot of that going on. Again, I think you just let the stews handle this. This is an Aesha problem. At best, it's a Captain Jason problem if it goes there.
Sure.
But this is an Aesha problem. She's the supervisor. Obviously, they're having some issues with this. Jamie feels like she's getting demoted because, she essentially is. Margot feels like she's not given the chance to shine because she essentially is not. And so they need to have that conversation. It doesn't take all the men on the boat to like come in and be like, as a man, I think that I should. Like, bro, chill. Stay out of this for what? Go have another drink. It'll be all right. So, yeah, this is what happens when we don't stay in our lane.
Yep. And fun fact, Aesha outranks them. So what about that? Like, No, there's a reason all of those like little lapel matters, right? Like the stripes on their
Epaulets.
yeah, the epaulets, thank you, matter because please, everyone. All right. But yeah, gotta go. Pack is also right that it's weird dynamic because they live and socialize with their bosses. Listen, that's why Joao was like, let me gather you real quick, Culver. You suck. Luca saved us.
Yeah. That's tough too, because it is Luca. And we know that Luca is kind of easing into Culver's space. See, that's what I'm talking about. This is mess for mess sake. And I kind of like it though. You know, because Luca is supposed to is the guy that they said that Culver shouldn't have to worry about. And now he's also the guy who is doing better at Culver's job. Jamie's over there kind of looking his way. If Culver comes up on those text messages and those pictures and those selfies, oh yeah. He's not gonna love this. Luca is the one who's about to catch some strays. He ain't in nobody business. This man is minding his own business, about to catch hell of L's because of this.
Yeah, it's end of the season too. Just like give up. Like you don't need to get into this drama now. We have one episode left, one charter left. Let's also like, I mean, I'm sure he didn't know he was going on Med. I'm actually interested to know deep down, do you think Culver and Joao were like kind of pissed that he got invited to go on Med? Like,
ooh. So do we know that is he the only one that's making the jump over to Med?
And from this cast,
yeah, from this cast.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
interesting.
But here's the thing. I also feel like could it have been he's already gonna be on Med. Let's just, since we need someone to sub in, let's try him out here real quick. And then and I've seen this like in a few places that folks are like, Jamie's also trying like for a storyline, which I don't know. I agree a little sometimes, but sometimes I'm like, it just seems like that's who she is. So it could be both, but yeah, I feel like there might be some version of like, this is your jump off and we can tell.
Yeah, I'm interested to know the filming schedule and like what happened there, because maybe they were all clamoring for a spot on Winter House too, because now Winter House has all these below deck people. So you know, who knows what they're trying. Maybe they're just trying to make good TV and I guess get cast again. Because
100%.
Below deck sometimes drops people completely and you never see them again. So.
Yeah, and I'm starting to see below deck people all over the place because I was watching The Traders Australia.
Yeah.
And what's the woman's name? Hannah,
yes.
Yeah. So I'm thinking if you put up a good show on Below Deck Down Under, Jamie might be on The Traders. You know, you never know. I don't know how they at this point, I don't know what the limit is to the shows you could go on by making good TV on a show like Below Deck. Because I have no insight into Winter House at all. So I'm kind of just like seeing these people pop up in random places.
Yeah.
Well, it's that if Bravo loves you, you can get on a circuit, basically, is how that works. And yeah, for folks asking, Below Deck Med will start September 25th. So not next Monday, but the Monday after. So it's coming, baby, is the point. And I'm just glad Toomey is back. That's all I care about. I don't care about anything else. But yeah, and then we do get some more drama, right? With now that these women have left, we do get some Stepford wives on the boat as our next charter. And their preference sheet meeting, the biggest piece of it is that they want a teppanyaki night, which maybe if folks have gone to like Benihana's, right? Like, you know, it's a really fun, like, talent, because I feel like not everyone can just be like, yeah, let me and it's, you know, a raw egg, like that's crazy. So that is of course causing a lot of stress for Sheffy. So like Chappell, you'd said she asked Keith Stone to do an appearance. I think that's normal, but these guests aren't those people, right? They're wearing cult Gaia dresses, which I looked up because the dress that was burnt could the lowest end could be like on sale was like 100 something, but then the highest I saw was like 2K plus gowns.
Oh, wow.
So somewhere in between maybe is her dress. But I think production sometimes pays for it if they mess it up. So either way, the point is give them a steamer because this happens all the time.
Yeah, why are they steaming with an iron?
Yeah, and the reason I bring it up is because at teppanyaki night, why are you wearing such an expensive dress? What if something gets tossed onto you?
Yes. I always think about that if I go to hibachi or something.
Yeah.
I'm like, I'm not wearing my best silk dress to get throwing stuff at.
Exactly. And it's just and I do want to get into this a little bit. So basically Sheffy, right, like is feeling a lot of stress because she's not a hibachi chef, which I feel like it's normal. And Captain Jason shuts down Keith completely, which I do agree that I think it would declassify the joint a little, right? Like, is this a classy place? Wake up, everyone. Apparently. And they're in like a Japanese like rainforest. Like Jamie has tried all of this, but why not bring in someone that can do this instead of her?
This is my question. I don't know why you offer a teppanyaki if Sheffy can't do it. When the people do the preference sheet, there has to be certain things. Like you have limitations because you're on a boat. So I know there's limitations. There are ingredients you probably can't get. There are things that you have to say no to. How come when this is something that is like a very specific skill set, someone can be like, I cannot do this, and Captain's like, yes, you can. Like, no, I literally cannot do this. I can cook, but that's not one of my skills. You knew this when you said yes to the teppanyaki. Like, it's probably drama for the show's purpose, but at the same time, this feels like something you easily just outsource to someone else. We brought in a teppanyaki person for a couple hours. Boom, boom, boom. Hell. Make Sheffy pay for it. I don't know. Just do something.
No, but it's not her fault, that she's not like a freaking teppanyaki chef. That's great. No, like it shouldn't be just like we should just be grateful that the Sheffy can bake. Because remember all the drama with people that can't bake and starts all this stress because they're like, I don't know how to do a cake. And you're asking, I'm only a chef. I'm not a pastry chef. At least she can bake a cake.
That's
so shut up, everyone. Ugh.
There's a thing about like you can, if you don't know flavors, you can adapt to that because you're a chef. But like skill sets in terms of like knife work, like if you're not trained in certain things, I do think it's unfair for her. I get it. Would I approach it differently? Yes, because like you seemingly have to do it anyway. But yeah, it's not fair. I mean,
yeah. It seemed a little out of character for Captain Jason too.
Right?
He's been so agreeable. Even when we see the dress get burnt, he's like, okay, accidents happen. What?
Yeah.
Sheffy's telling you I'm stressed and I can't do this thing. He's like, make it happen. But then like when the dress gets burned, when Aesha ruined somebody's diving experience, Captain Jason is so, like, okay, I get it. Margot's drinking on the boat. Oh, okay, I get it. You're going through a lot. But this is where he plants his flag. It felt very weird.
Yeah, you're right. He is kind of hard on Tzarina, which I think you do have to be hard on the chef. Like early in the season, if you remember, like he was pretty hard on her, and I think she did get better. But yeah, I mean, you have to support the chef too because they have arguably the hardest job on the boat. So yeah, I feel for her. It wasn't fair.
Yeah, no, 100%. And I just think that this is the first time in 2 seasons, right, that we've finally, I think, seen a chef be the temperamental chef. This is the first time, I feel like, because I'm used to it, right? I was like, yeah, where is this temperament? We've had such like even keeled, like, normal chefs, but this is actually, Chappell, what we're used to when we talk about below deck chefs. They're like, no, I'm just not going to do it. Like, you don't get to just like tell me I want to like do it and I'm going to make it happen. And the onion volcano is what like is the tipping point for all of this. And I cannot help but laugh at all of it because I love that Captain Jason was like, great. And now about the onion volcano. And she's like, I'm not doing that. And just leaves. Queen.
Yeah.
I mean, what can you say?
Yeah, an onion volcano is like, yes, that's the easier thing to do, but it is a lot of pressure because they're making it like this classy event, right? This classy dinner, and I would feel the pressure too. I get where she's coming from. I'm interested to see how it turns out.
Yeah, me too.
What did you think about the guests though in general? Because I know that what was it? Were they like, oh, we've all known each other our whole lives, and since the 7th grade, we're all neighbors and we all get along. I think Aisha's like, that's fake. This is fake. And I'm thinking, is this fake? These people like they just came out here like they got the fake friend group together to act like Sasha Carlton was the Stepford Wives. I thought this was a very interesting group of people.
Yeah. To be honest, I confused the guests. Like, I don't even remember them charter to charter.
Oh, right.
Don't ask me their names because I have no idea who they are.
Oh yeah, same.
I'm just like, oh, girl who doesn't want to room with the other girl, or
yeah,
oh, girl that's causing drama. Like, I don't know. They were, yeah. I think the way she handled the dress was very nice. Like, honestly, very nice, because I'm like you said, it could have been thousands of dollars.
Yeah.
But it was interesting in the room when they're like, I'll kill her if she does my dress. So we'll see how dinner goes.
Yeah, I think that they're fake in that this must be their life. I'm not saying that part is fake. I believe the like happy, look at us, we have the perfect lives part is probably fake. Yeah.
That's what I thought too.
Exactly. And again, I feel like this is I forget where they're from. They say they're from California, right?
California, yeah.
Yeah. So, it's if they're from LA, I can see that, right? Like it's like keeping up with the Joneses or Kardashians at this point, right? We need to put up this like front on how we live. And yeah, gotta go back. Oh my God, I was just about to say that, where the men and women didn't seem to interact like the way they were sitting, right? The women sat on one side, the men sat on the other. It was just giving very like, we are on TV. Be on your best behavior, which I feel like is a new trend with these guests, and I'm getting mad. Bring the sloppies back, because why did they go in the room and close the door for all of this, for them to talk shit? That's why I feel like they knew what they were doing. And we even get a line from one of the two women that are like, they're gonna think we're the best guests ever.
Yes. Yeah, they just want to look good. Which I would probably be the same way. Like, I want to be, but I would want to be giving the biggest tip. I want to look like the best guest. But a lot of times these people don't even give the best tip, which is always funny. Like, you care so much about your image, but then you give them like $12K, So
yeah. My favorite thing about them going off into the room to want to look better is that it made them look worse, because it was like, oh no, it's fine. Don't worry about the dress. I'm gonna kill her. I hate. Right? I can't believe she did that. I was like, y'all are awful. Damn, y'all should have told her. And I mean, I guess telling her that you are upset doesn't really help either. So I appreciate them going away, but it was something about that like hidden camera type, it's like a microphone where you hear all the backstory. That made it really like, oh, okay, this is messy. I liked it a lot. I don't know. This guests were interesting. I mean, that first group was definitely more interesting. The girls trip. I mean, even to the point where the two people who wanted to scuba dive were the two people who hate each other the most.
Yes, yes, that was the best.
So I guess I prefer that group more than this group, but I did think it was interesting that Aesha was like, I can see through this. I can tell this is fake.
Yeah, and 19 Kitten also talks about this in the chat. The unpacking was outrageous, right? I was like, you're gonna be on, and they said this is a shorter charter. So is this a 1-day charter? It has to be, actually, because they need to do the finale next week where they're gonna do the like everyone get together one last night. So yeah, I think this is a 1-day charter. Why did you need to unpack that much and need a whole other person's help to do so?
Yeah, I think that's what you said about like the persona that they're trying to give off of like, please help me unpack my, richness.
You're right. I'm
a
plebe. I don't know.
Let me show off my money.
Right.
Oh my God.
Yeah. And then even for this to be a 1-day charter, she had a lot of clothes. And I pack a lot. I cannot judge anybody, but it did feel like they were going to be there longer than that. I was actually surprised when Sasha said it was only going to be like 1 day or so.
Well, so Below Deck, I believe, pays for your flights. So I think that's why, like, you can make a vacation out of it. Like, it isn't just just because you're coming for that charter, you'll probably add on, right? Like time here and there. So it's probably that. But again, I don't need to unpack it all. Stop it. And then that's how dresses get burned. And then she goes, I look good in everything. Don't worry. That I loved. I was like, yeah, that's the energy I should have in my life at all.
Will she actually wear it? Like, I'm interested to see.
Oh, that's a good question.
Would you? I don't know that I would.
I mean, she has all these dresses. She's on TV for 1 day.
Right.
I don't think she's gonna wear it.
Yeah, I don't think she wears this.
Yeah.
But why did the dress get burnt? Because the show kind of made it look like Jamie was texting her new boo thing, Luca, Oh, look, he sent me selfies. Oopsie, I burnt the dress. That was the exact order it happened. And I'm sure those two things were not aligned, but the show is definitely giving us that Jamie is so distracted by this.
Yeah.
Yeah, this was happening. But I honestly say that maybe Jamie just knew maybe she wasn't tapped in on the clothes because she didn't want to be down there. I'm not saying that she did it on purpose, but she's like reluctantly doing laundry and stuff like that. Feel like this accident might have been, a little bit of negligence, if she wasn't really tapped into her job for the day.
Yeah, sorry, go ahead, Sharon.
No. Oh no, sorry. I was just reading the chat. But I also think like they have Dyson vacuums on this boat. Like, why are you using an iron for a steamer? Like I have a steamer that's like $30 from Amazon. Like what are we doing here?
That's what I believe it's for, like, for this thing to happen, because they have all this expensive stuff on the boat and you're telling me you can't get an Amazon steamer. There's no way. It's because production is like, we want burnt dress, we want guests to be pissed. How do we do that? Great, let's use an iron to steam hundreds of dollars worth of dress. Stop. It's on purpose, and I will not fall for it. Production, give those people a steamer, because and Lindsay said it, but yeah, and I remember it happens at least once a charter or once a season. Sorry, that someone's dress is burned. It's just it happens.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Oh my God. Michael asked, can we talk about the deckhand smacking the lady in the face with different penis shaped foods?
She loved it.
There really is something for everyone on Bolo Tech. I'll just say
that long, rock hard baguette.
Yeah. I feel like if that happened to me, I'd be like, call me Rocky, because I'm jumping off this boat. Because there's no way.
That's not my vibe. I'd be so embarrassed. You would never see me ever. Like if those guys came out in their, what do they call them?
Budgie smugglers.
Budgies.
I would hide. I would be, hiding away in the bilge, maybe. Like I would be gone. I just get very
acid. Yeah.
I freak out in like these uncomfortable moments, and I just could not watch that. It's so uncomfortable.
Yeah, it was again, I think if it was like professional, like Thunder from Down Under, right? Like where phones are not allowed and you're just like in that controlled setting, it's such a different situation. Even then, nobody's smacking me or nothing, please. But maybe then, like I have, been in many bachelorettes, like it goes crazy what women allow when they're in that moment versus consensually what you're not allowing normally. But even then, this is crazy. You're on TV and you're on Below Deck, right? Like it's a pretty famous show. It's not like this random show that happens that folks are like, what? Oh, I was on this one show. No. People seen you get smacked with baguettes.
That's so funny. The solution to this was, I'm uncomfortable. I think I'm uncomfortable picking on them and objectifying them. They should put on a t-shirt. And Harry goes, yeah, we'll just put shirts on and keep our budgie smugglers on too. Go full Winnie the Pooh on a boat.
Your
like
face.
Everybody. I was like, stop it. No, stop it. If you're wearing top, you need to wear bottoms. Like there needs to be some type of symmetry between the upper body and the lower body. I don't like that at all. It's uncomfortable even hearing them talk about it. But also, I think, Sharon, it's even more embarrassing because you feel like this isn't these people's jobs. Like you're telling me you're a deckhand and stuff like that, and now you got to go strip for money. It's like, okay, dang.
Is this just Below Deck, or do they actually do this on other boats? Because like that would be a deal breaker for me. Like, sure, I can do laundry, I can serve people, but if I have to like get half naked and like hump people, it's not happening. I'm not doing it. Like, what? Is this real?
Yeah, they've said it that they just don't say no to guests like IRL too. So I just think, unfortunately,
that's a dangerous rule.
That is, it really is. Because man, you humping people. You don't want everybody humping everybody. It's a lot. It's a lot going on, y'all. That's a good question, Michael.
Live your life. If you want to get, humped and slapped by baguettes, live your life.
But Captain Jason is such a prude, and you would think of all the people who would like be like, oh, let's keep it a little conservative. Or you would think it would be him. He's like,
not for the tip. No pun intended, but not for the tip.
The tip of the baguette. Captain Jason, get out there, smack her with it.
Honestly, then a lot more people would be okay if it's Captain Jason.
True. But he doesn't even want to go to dinner with them, let alone get sent back.
That's what I said. The nerve of this man to tell people like the customer is always right. They're like, "You want to come dinner with us?" Ooh,
I'm on Anchor
Watch. Yeah.
So then they showed up to Anchor Watch. Listen, they came to you.
So funny.
Oh my god, I'm just obsessed with Jason. Like just being so over everyone, and he's like screaming women. I'm tired of them. It happens too many times. Must be nice.
Yeah. Sasha, can you please address Matt in the chat, please? Because I need to know what he's talking about. Matt says, what about the other season when they tried to make super religious guests drink shots out of a dildo? I need an explanation now.
I don't remember this, but I'm sure
No, it's just, I mean, they were just like, you have to do it. Here you go. And then it was, I think, like really awkward, right? Can you remind me what season this was?
Oh my god. Why is
this is why I love the chat, because chat will be remembering stuff that I have like blocked or wanted to block from my memory.
That's a suppressed
and how do
memory
I even look that up? You know,
I mean, I know there were a religious group on Adventure, and I distinctly remember Nathan saying, "Oh, they're religious; they'll be fine," and they're like grabbing his ass. So
yeah, that's what I remember. Is like they say that they're religious, so they I think didn't have a lot of stuff, and then they were asking for it.
Right? They're like, "Why
oh my god."
naked?
Yes. Oh my god.
So you're not
doing Below Deck Med. Oh my god, y'all.
Guys, I'm rewatching Med. They're all the same to me. It's like getting confused.
It's a boat.
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah, that's okay. Right. It was. Yeah. It was just like all of them. Yeah, the girls trip. Thank you. Where the girls were just like absolutely not. Yeah, it's just weird stuff happens where I feel like sometimes the crew is so into it that they forget to read the room, which we've maybe seen with Gary, right? Where it's like, no one else wants this. This is just a you thing. Versus these guests where they're just like, no, we want it. Up it even more. Yeah. So it's just, it was, it's embarrassing. I'll just say that. And with that, anything else, y'all? Anything chat or Sharon or Chappell that we missed?
I feel like we covered pretty much everything.
Yes, look at us, we're killing it. But yeah, if nothing else, make sure you're leaving us a 5-star. 5 stars only. Okay, that's all we can count. On Bravo TV, wrap-ups either on Apple or Spotify, whatever helps. We got to get to 150, Chappell, if we want to cover Med.
Yes, and I want to cover Med. I feel like I missed so much. I didn't know they were taking shots out of dildos on that season. So here we are.
We got to see Chappelle's reaction to Captain Sandy. That's what I want.
Oh my god! I know. I haven't told him anything about Captain Sandy.
So I only know Captain Sandy because she was on Project Runway this season on the Below Deck crossover, and she seemed like a nice lady. And so I'm dying to see her in her element when she's not on the runway. So I'm excited for it. I can't wait for Below Deck Med.
Yeah, but we got to get to 150. We're 25 reviews away. So help us out. Leave us a 5-star review, please, everyone. And oh my God, with that, Sharon, thank you again for saying yes to coming on. Where can the people find you, as if they don't already know?
On Twitter, on most platforms, I'm at Sharon Tharp. My podcast is called The Exclusive. That's at Exclusively Pod. And yeah, I talk about Big Brother mostly for now, but who knows? Maybe in the future I'll do other shows.
Oh, can't wait. We'll be seated. And what about you, Chappell?
You should know where to find me by now too. At Chappell's_show on Twitter, at Chappell TNT on Instagram. I'll be tweeting out the links to everything. Nothing But Netflix coming soon. Check that out on the Nothing But Netflix podcast. Obviously, Big Brother coverage. I joined Rob to talk about the Sunday episode. Well, Taryn and crew to talk about the Sunday episode. And then also I was on the Reality Kingdom podcast to talk about the live feeds, and that was a good time over with Pharaoh and Lee. Rob and I got a daily Suits podcast going on right now. So suitspodcast.com. You can join the conversation about, the show Suits on Netflix by going to suitspodcast.com, subscribing, or going to suitspodcast.com/Facebook to be a part of our Facebook community. Then I'll post your recaps. I'm talking about The Walking Dead still, and so The Walking Dead Daryl Dixon is out. Me, Josh Wigler, AJ Maz, and Jessica Lees are covering the most recent season of The Walking Dead as well. So check me out on all those places, and send me a follow at Chappell's_show.
Perfect. And as for me, as always, you can find me on Twitter at funsize_04. I cover Mess Magnets, a vibes only celebrity gossip, ridiculousness podcast with Kirsten McKennis. So check that out. And I was guesting on Crime Scene, Dancing on the Grave. So check out Crime Scene. And I'll be on tonight or Wednesday night's Big Brother recap as well. So thank you everyone for listening. And thank you, chat, as always. Y'all are amazing. We'll talk to you soon. Bye.